Hello.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. America.
Yeah, we're gonna do that the whole the whole
Hello.
recording.
All right, we are live now.
Hello. Hello. What do we talk about today? I don't know.
Okay, are we gonna play the okay. Funny? Funny? Not funny. Not funny. Funny? Not funny.
I'm taking my kids to PAX East on Sunday. I think we're going on Sunday. And I'm going there because my friend Jason Schneider has a game company called Happy Camper Games. And he's going to be there. And I think the kids are going to enjoy it. I hope they will. It is a big, confusing mess
Yeah,
of
it is.
games.
Cons are like
And
that. I've never been to a PAX, but they're all chaotic and fun.
I went years ago when Paul and Storm was opening up for Jonathan Colton, and I went backstage and I hung out with everybody and I called Paul Storm and Storm Paul, and I will never live that down.
And you'll never be invited back.
I'll never be invited back, although I'm going.
What is PAX? What the hell are you guys talking about? Okay, I'll bite.
Well-
PAX is the Penny Arcade Expo. Penny Arcade was a webcomic, or is a webcomic still, from the early 2000s. And eventually they have spread both to the expo, which has been going on for like 20 years now.
Wow.
But they also do a yearly charity called now I just lost it.
You know
They also
so
do
much
it-
more than I do.
But what happens now? Now I'm really lost. So there's a comic book you're saying called Penny Arcade?
It's
Webcomic.
a webcomic. So they release a new comic Monday, Wednesday, Friday, mostly relating to video games. But now that they've been parents for like a decade now. So most of it is mostly just about their life and,
It's a
video game
person.
news and anything else. Yeah, it's two people.
Oh,
Tycho
okay.
Brahe and Mike Krahulik. They actually have quite an empire that they've built over the last
Why does
2 decades or more.
Mike Krahulik sound really familiar?
don't
Isn't
know.
he from around Boston, or is he from somewhere
I
else?
think maybe originally, I don't know
Yeah.
offhand.
He was being interviewed about PAX. I mean, PAX is huge. It's at the
It's massive.
Menino
Huge
convention
how?
center. It's the largest.
They have
Well,
PAX East, PAX West, and PAX South, which is East Coast, West Coast, and Texas.
What happens during
Yeah.
these meetings?
No,
It's
so
just
it's
a
not
convention.
meetings. It's a convention of games, and my understanding is it has a lot of board game, like a lot of
Yeah.
physical board game presence, and that I think they've also let some digital in. But when I went last time, it was pretty much all physical games.
Yeah, they also have I don't know if they still have an Australian one, but they used to have one of those. And I think they used to have one called PAX Unplugged, which was specifically for board games and not like anything digital.
Oh, maybe that was the one that I went to.
Yeah. Child's Play, that's the charity. Sorry.
If anybody, it came, it arrived. If anybody's wondering who we're talking to, it is Ben Burns. Ben Burns is back as a co-host or a
Hi.
cohort.
Watch your mouth.
And yeah, I'm not
Rated
sure.
M for
associated
mature.
with these hooligans.
M for nudity. And Ben has come to talk to us about movies, music, and reality. And we're happy to have you back. It's been too long. It's nice to see you. It's good to hear you with your good mic. It's nice to have a guest with a good mic. Not a guest, cohort,
Well,
co-host.
A cohort.
Conspirator, yeah.
Yes.
No, the only reason I have this mic is because I did some audiobook work like forever ago, and the amount that he was going to pay me was about the exact amount that this mic cost. So I was like, you know what? I'll treat myself, and then I'll also make his product sound a little better. So that's about it. I have an old school SM 58 here too.
Did you ever do any other audiobooks after that one, or was it just
I did a handful of stuff for him. Mike Duda was his name. Or is his name. I feel like he's still around with us, but I worked with him for a little bit, and then my life got busy, and then he found somebody else. So
That happens.
So that's
happens.
how it goes. It's fun though.
So
I'm
Ben,
not
did you
terribly
get to
good at doing
see
voices. Oh,
Hail
go ahead.
Mary?
I did. I
Good.
uh I I
Okay.
wrote some stuff down while I was in the theater. I realized this was the first time in my life I've been to a theater, like went to a movie by myself. So it was a little weird in that regard. But no, I had a good time. It was a lot
Well,
of
why don't
fun.
you kick off then? Tell us what you think.
Okay. So I haven't read the book. Not yet. It's been on my library forever, but it just hasn't gotten around to me yet. But I have been a huge fan of The Martian. I read that book every year. I watch the movie after I read it. Um, Traditionally, I read it in like February because I go down to Tucson and it's like deserty in February. And because, going from Minnesota to the desert is kind of a treat in itself. So I feel like it's a good thing. But I did, I did feel like the first half of the movie had a lot of like relation to The Martian, where it's just kind of like sciencing everything and trying to figure it all out. And I
Yeah.
really like that. I mean, I loved the the same take, but with a very different dynamic with both the amnesia and also like the way that time is split between it. Because in The Martian, it's just like, this is what's happening
It
on
goes
Mars.
forward. There's no
And at the
flashbacks.
same time concurrently.
Right.
But in this one, you're learning about his past while he's kind of learning about his past too. I don't know if the book goes into more detail as like how he
No, it's
regains
exactly
his
like that.
memories. Okay.
The
Okay.
movie follows the book pretty slavishly.
Interesting.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm very excited to read the book when I get it because I really like the differences from the book to the movie and The Martian. There aren't a lot, and I can tell why they kind of omitted some of the stuff for the movie because it would be too complex or just not really.
It's a slog.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah, he acknowledged. I listened to Andy Weir, and he said, "Look, he said they cut out basically like 80% of the problems that Mark Watney experiences trying to get from his place to the Ares
Yeah.
5 launch site." And he said, and I fully supported that
Yeah.
because it just
The
it goes on way too long. It's
the
too much
back.
of a death march for the audience at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it was still interesting. He encounters problems in the back third of the book, but I agree where it's just like it's better to just like now he's there. Okay. We
Yeah.
can get on with the more dramatic moments.
Great. I mean,
So
I gotta say, I've probably watched The Martian at least 10 times. In fact, it was something where I kept renting it to show to people, and at some point,
Mhm.
Amazon said, "Okay, look, we're going to cut you a break here, jerk. We're just going to give you them." Seriously, they said you own the movie because you've rented like 7 times the value of it, so we're just going to give you the damn Martian. Okay, just wake up for a second, cowboy.
Yeah,
Anyway, okay, so let's keep going with your notes.
sure. I also really enjoyed and it's not like direct comedy, but the indirect comedy from both the actual characters in the movie, but also like the cinematography, the way that it's shot,
We're
the
talking
way
about
that
Hail
it's
Mary or Martian
yeah,
now?
Hail Mary. Sorry,
Okay,
yeah,
we're back to
yeah,
Hail
so
Mary.
Full name Project Hail Mary.
Project Hail Mary.
Right.
Yeah.
In theaters
In theaters
near you.
now.
Yeah. But yeah, like the cinematography I found was really funny, especially some of the opening shots where it's like these big wide shots and then it just shows him poking his head up, like just kind of looking around the ship trying to figure out where he is and stuff. I got a kick out of that. That was a lot of fun.
What did you think about the music? Now I
Oh,
have the
it's
list
lovely.
here of all the tunes.
Oh yeah. I heard from Jim that you wanted to talk about the music
I
and
want
I
to talk about
thought
the
that
music. Can I read
yeah,
can I just read the list of tunes?
Yeah, you should.
yeah,
And then I'll tell
absolutely.
you kind of my problem with this, but go ahead.
Well,
But
thanks.
please.
That
But
yeah.
please.
And I have a
Continue.
follow-up question, Your Honor.
And
The
when you're done with that,
defendant's a
my
fucking liar,
reputation.
and I have a follow-up statement to that after I've read my prepared statement. Okay. Sign of the Times by Harry Styles. That's the karaoke scene.
Mhm.
It's not the Prince tune. It's just somebody said, "Is that the Prince tune?" I'm like, I don't know, but it's just no, it's not. It's a Harry Styles song that he wrote. Sunday Morning Coming Down by Chris Christopherson.
Ah.
Mm.
Rainbows by Dennis Wilson. Pata Pata by Miriam Makeba. They say this, but I don't ever remember this being played. It's like the Rocky theme. The Final Bell by
Oh,
Bill Conti. But anyway,
I'm sure that was shoved into a montage somewhere.
yeah, somewhere. I Cosi per non morire by Ornella Vanoni. I have no idea where this wound up in the film.
Hmm.
Let's Call the Whole Thing Off by Ella Fitzgerald. Gracias a la Vida by Mercedes Sosa. Stargazer by Neil Diamond. Wind of Change by the Scorpions.
Huh.
Ho Ataru, Now is the Hour by the St. Joseph's Maori Girls College Choir, which I can't even say without tearing up. Okay. Glory,
Yeah.
Glory by Ike and Tina Turner. And my favorite, El Amanecer. I'm probably mispronouncing this. My apologies to Spanish speakers. El Amanecer by Robert Firpo, which was the tango with the violin and the accordion.
Mhm.
And then the other tune that, of course, was such a major tune in the movie was "The Two of Us" by the Beatles,
Yeah.
which I did not know that
Yes.
tune at all. So it really hit me
Yeah.
when I heard it. So anyway, those are the tunes. So what do you think, Ben Burns?
I mean,
See, this is the thing I wanted to ask, and I
yeah,
wanted
of
Jim
course.
to ask you, and we tried to pull this up, and it didn't work. It's like I wanted to give this list of tunes to somebody who had not seen the movie and say, given this list of tunes in the movie, what do you think the movie's about? Like,
Right.
don't you think that's cool? Like, give it to
Yeah.
somebody and say, what movie would you build around these tunes? Like, is it a
What
romantic
movie has
movie?
all these tunes? Yeah.
Is it a
Yeah.
romantic
That's a really
movie? Is it a
interesting, yeah.
heist movie? Is it this movie or that movie?
Well,
But
it's a
I'm going to
buddy
stop
movie.
there.
Yeah.
It's a buddy
Yeah,
movie.
and it honestly is. I went into this movie more or less blind. I saw part of the trailer, and then, like, when the trailer got to the alien bit, I was like, "Nope, I don't wanna know any more of this. I wanna experience it blind," you know? So, I didn't know what I was getting myself into for most of it, and I really, yeah, the music really felt appropriate for every step along the way, and, you show a list like that to somebody, and it's like, these are all over the
They're
place.
all
Yeah.
over the place.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I loved all of it, especially even the music written for the sound, like, for the movie itself, like
Did
the
you like that?
ethereal.
Seriously,
Yeah.
did you enjoy it? Because I didn't
Really?
dig it.
Okay. I grew up listening to, like, 90s and early 2000s new age, so
I thought
maybe
it was
that's
all right.
more
Yeah.
more my jam. It's like that very ethereal choir,
I felt a lot of
kind of
Enya there.
synthy.
I felt the
Yeah.
spirit of Enya moving across the
Oh.
waters. No. I mean, and Enya's fine, but
Yeah.
it just seemed a little too churchy for me. Like heavenly choirs, and
Yeah.
that's just me. It's just me. Whatever. So, what did you? Was there any? So, did you go there knowing that we were going to talk about the music? Did Jim tell you that?
Yeah.
He had mentioned it, yeah.
So, did you interact with a particular tune or not?
Man, not really. I mean, I love all of them, but, like, I didn't like, I can't say that, like, I'm as, familiar with contemporary and some of the more classic stuff like that, so I loved listening to it, but some of those were either ones that I had heard for the first time or, like, that version of it.
But was there like a
So,
scene where you saw the scene and you heard the music and you go like, "Yeah, that's exactly right," or "No, this
the
really is like
karaoke
the
scene specifically was, like, bang on for me, like,
really?"
yeah. Well, and I mean, like, maybe I was just going off of the lyrics instead of the context of the entire song, and that's entirely possible for me, but I really felt like, um, the karaoke scene was pretty much laying out exactly how she and the other astronauts were feeling at that time, where it's just like, "This is the last time we're going to be together, we should enjoy it."
And did that affect you? Was it an
Yeah.
effective movie moment for you?
Yeah. Yeah, very much so.
Jim?
Yeah. No, I thought that scene was fantastic. I have to tell you what happened. I did not go to the movie by myself. I went with a friend of mine. Um, I went to a theater that he recommended that had, he said, the best sound. And we were there with one other person at a matinee,
Mhm.
and the sound was horrific.
Oh,
And it looked like the projector was missing a couple of light bulbs because everything was kind of dark.
that's a shame.
Yeah. So I would say, and what the weird thing, of course, is that he thought the movie was horrible, couldn't watch it, walked around the theater the entire
Oh my
time,
God, that'd be so distracting.
and then would sit behind me and grunt and then walk around again. So I would say I liked the movie, but maybe I didn't see it in the optimal condition in order to notice every little nuance
And then he
about the
puked in the
music.
popcorn
Yeah.
bucket.
Is kicking your seat every time you walked by.
Yeah, we need to get out of here. And I was like, podcast. So I only noticed the karaoke scene. I recognized
Really?
some of the background music throughout. I didn't notice any music aside from the karaoke scene, and I didn't know which song that was. Well, the sound was really not good.
Oh,
I mean,
that sucks.
there were things, especially, what is her name? The woman who's sort of in charge of the entire venture.
I don't know the name of the actress,
ship.
and I don't know the name of the
No,
character.
the name of the character. Yeah, well, so I couldn't understand anything she was saying.
With the accent or just in general? Just
Well, she
'cause of
with
the
speaks
the
line?
accent, and
quietly.
Yeah.
She speaks
she
quietly.
speaks quietly and with an accent, and with bad speakers in a theater, not good.
Yeah.
So I need to wait. I need to either go and watch it again. I would definitely watch it with my kids.
Yeah.
It's a great kid show.
It's a really good
Not
kids
a
show.
kid
It is
show,
a
but it-
major Hollywood production, right? And
Right.
I
Yeah.
definitely got that feeling. And I think in terms of the soundscape, I got that feeling again. It had a little bit. It's funny that you mentioned Guardians of the Galaxy or one of the Thor Ragnarok. It had a little Marvel feel,
A little bit.
and it had a kind of a cartoony feel, which is kind of strange for what should be hard sci-fi. And
You're absolutely right. It's not The Martian.
it's
Yeah,
not The Martian at all.
It's absolutely not The
exactly. I was
Martian. Much in
expecting
this-
something closer. Yeah.
Right. Much in the same way that Babylon 5 is
Mm.
not The Expanse. The Expanse is very hard-edged, very rooted in reality.
Mhm.
Same way with The Martian, it's extraordinarily rooted in reality, whereas this is far more speculative.
Yeah, and I mean, just the way that space is represented as something that's colorful, whereas with The Martian, it's very stark, right? It's just the ship,
Yeah.
the red, like Mars, and then Earth. Like that's all there is. But with this, you have all of the colors, especially when they changed like the spectrum to the dots or whatever, that like purple and pink like filter that they put over
Right.
everything.
The
and-
Petrovka,
yeah.
the Petrovka filter and stuff
Yeah,
like that,
thank
where you
you.
can see the
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I tell you my thoughts about it?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
I have a lot of
Yeah,
thoughts.
go.
Okay. With res gustibus non disputandum est, I do not dispute matters of taste, and everybody likes different things. The karaoke scene absolutely made me want to shoot myself.
Oh no.
I thought it was really an enormous letdown. Because,
Okay.
but I understand why they did it, because they're trying to create some kind of romantic interest between her and Ryland Grace. They're trying to this sort of frustrated romantic interest, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's nowhere in the book. It's
Okay, I was going to
nowhere
ask
in
if
the
that was
book.
developed
There's
somewhere. in
no
the book.
romantic
Okay.
interest between them whatsoever.
Okay.
Second off the bat, I really, as you probably have noticed, I didn't like the composed soundtrack at all.
Okay.
Mm.
But that's just me. I just don't.
Yeah.
For some reason, again, it's, and I thought it was a real mixed up jalopy of a movie. That doesn't mean it's bad. I thought it was fun because it was so chaotic. It was almost like a comic book. It's just kind of random, and there's like things sticking out all over the place. But some of the tunes, so the Sign of the Times thing didn't do anything for me. Sunday Morning Coming Down by Chris Christopherson is that piece where Ryland Grace has finally figured out that he's on a spaceship, and he takes the IV bag of vodka,
Yes. Okay.
and he's lying on the ground,
Yeah.
and and I wish I had Bob here, my buddy Bob, because he says, "Oh, that's Chris Christopherson. That's one of his greatest songs of all time. It is the quintessential Nashville hangover song. It is the most famous hangover song in the history of mankind." And I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was really what's the word I'm looking for? Really ham-handed. Like a lot of the use of the music was incredibly non-subtle. It's like, okay, here's a guy who's got an IV drip of vodka, and we're going to play a song about getting hammered in Nashville. It's like, okay, I wonder what the connection is on this one. But it kind of worked because it is fundamentally a nerdy film. It's fun. It's like, I think it's really fascinating to think about how this is so different from The Martian. And I got a theory about that. Just give me some more runway here. Rainbows, I don't remember which one that was. Pata Pata by Miriam Makeba. It's that tune. Very famous. I don't remember where it's used in the movie, but very up and very, I'm going to get to that. Mercedes Sosa, Gracias a la Vida. I don't know exactly where it was used, but it's just acoustic guitar and voice. Stargazer, Neil Diamond, really early Neil Diamond song, not heavily produced, kind of goofy. Stargazer with your head in the clouds. It's kind of Scorpions. I don't know where that came from. The Saint Joseph Mary Girls College. That's kind of like hard to miss in the movie. It's that vocal with all these young women singing, and it's like the harmony, like it's almost like the Bulgarian women's choir, except it's not tight at all. Like with the Bulgarian women's choir, they're razor tight. With the Maori, they're not tight at all, which doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's a completely different feel. It's incredibly organic, and it really affects me. I can't talk about it anymore. But my favorite of all time was, my two favorites are the tango. Does anybody remember when the tango was played? It's like violin. It's very odd. It comes out of nowhere in the movie, and it's violin, and it's accordion, and it's kind of quirky. It's like dun 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 dun.
Is that when he was like first met Rocky, and he was like, okay, that's where I was thinking.
It is at the beginning, but he hasn't met Rocky yet. It's when the two ships are circling each other and trying to go into synchronization so he can send the tunnel out. So class. That was so class.
Really well done.
What's that a quote of?
So class.
To you guys, students.
2001: A Space Odyssey.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
James Infantina. And what scene in 2001: Space Odyssey? Two ships.
It is the ship coming from Earth docking with the orbital space station.
And the kick is good.
And
they're playing the Blue Danube.
Oh, it's right. That's it. Yeah,
they're playing the Strauss's Blue Danube. Which
I watched this. Sorry, not to cut you off. I watched Space Odyssey once, like 25 years ago. I should watch it again now that I have a little better understanding.
I want
of
to show it to the kids. Yeah.
Works. Yeah,
it's still amazing.
It's such a magnificent scene.
Yeah,
that scene with the rotating, the circles, and then the other things, and then you realize they're both synchronizing, so they're both turning at exactly the same time. Oh my God, it's brilliant, and just the magnificent use of the Blue Danube by Strauss, Johann Strauss. It's just fabulous. And what I thought was funny is that this in Hail Mary, it's such an obvious quote of that. You have these two spaceships trying to synchronize each other. But instead of some ponderous piece of European music, you've got this goofy tango. And then the other tune that almost made me cry was The Two of Us by the Beatles.
Now, when does that happen? When they launch John, Paul, George, and Ringo?
I
thought that was it. Yeah.
They launched the four Beatles. He's launching the four Beatles, but it's also about how they're saying goodbye to each other, because he's going to launch Ryland Gray's going to launch the four Beatles, and then he has to say goodbye to Rocky and go home. So what does this all mean?
Well, sorry. I mean, unfortunately, when I left the theater, I had a way of thinking about this film that kind of wrecks it. And
can we pause for a second?
Why don't I not say it?
No, I think you should say it, but can I just go get another beer? It'll
Yeah.
take me. Okay, I'll be back.
Let's see.
I liked the music. Lionel doesn't have to hear that.
Well, no,
But
I think he
like-
did. I think he liked the music. Oh,
Well,
you mean
I
the
like the
background
score.
music?
Yeah.
Yeah, the score. I thought the score was actually quite effective.
Yeah.
I liked the spaciness of it and the airiness
Yeah.
of it. Yes, if they had gotten Brian Eno to do it, would have been a little better. But it was fine. And the truth is, this was not an art film. This was,
No.
you know what I
No.
mean?
But and
wanna-
it doesn't have to be, right? Like I don't feel like The Martian is necessarily an art film either. It's just, a good, well-produced movie and book.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. So I was just saying to Ben, it's not an art film, and
No.
it is a big Hollywood movie.
It is.
And I don't know how you're going to react to this, but I thought it really felt like a mashup between 2001: A Space Odyssey
Mhm.
and E.T.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
Yeah.
It's not a
So-
tightly wrapped package at all.
No,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
and it has that
Sure.
kind of modern looseness. It's not appealing to my generation, of course, right? I'd like it all to be more like The Martian.
Mhm.
This was definitely kind of aimed at a younger audience.
Really?
I thought so.
I don't understand the younger audience. I don't know who the younger audience is, but but I think that's fascinating because I think, can I make or are you, I don't want
No,
to
go for
stomp on what you're saying. So the
And then
interesting thing,
let's let Ben talk.
no,
for a
no,
while
no,
after
no,
this.
no.
Because we're just
I'm
like,
just
"Hi,
I'm
Ben."
just here for the experience. It's okay.
Yeah, can you come by and listen to us bloviate for like an hour? Thanks so much.
But I think I've thought a lot about this, and I think it's good, which is that The Martian, the soundtrack is all disco tunes.
Right. Well,
Disco.
it's built into the plot.
Mhm.
It's built into the very interesting.
Yeah.
It's built into the plot. But disco is a good metaphor. Disco is driving. It's highly produced. It's glamorous. It's a product of America.
And it never
Yeah.
dies.
It never dies.
Yeah.
The beat goes on. But
Yeah.
the key thing is that strong, relentless, pounding music, aggressively produced, aggressively over-engineered. Just really very intentional music with a lot of energy in it. And that's what I sort of see. Like, if you look at The Martian, it's a really aggressively produced movie. Like, everything is very crisp. Everything moves very quickly. Everything is very well defined. I mean, there's no fuzziness. There's no improv moments in The Martian at all. It is a finely produced piece of work. And that's not to say that that's great, but you get that feeling that it's really thought out. Whereas with Hail Mary, so I'll tell you what I think about the soundtrack. One, and the other one I'm comparing it to is Guardians of the Galaxy, which
Mhm.
also,
Yeah.
like The Martian, has a very intentional soundtrack. It's the
Yeah.
awesome mixed cassette tape that his mother
Part of
gives
the-
to
part
him
of the
before
plot.
she dies.
Yeah.
And so it's all these tunes. I'll read
It's a
the
great
tunes off.
device.
So the Martian tunes were Turn the Beat Around by Vicky Sue Robinson, Hot Stuff by Donna Summer. God bless Donna Summer. Rock the Boat by the Used Corporation, Don't Leave Me This Way by Thelma Houston, Starman by David Bowie, the only non-disco tune in the entire thing. Waterloo by ABBA, which is vaguely disco. Love Train by the OJs, I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. Guardians of the Galaxy, Hooked on a Feeling by James Blue Swede, Go All the Way, Eric Carmen and the Raspberries, Spirit in the Sky, Moon Age Daydream, another Bowie flick,
Mhm.
Fooled Around and Fell in Love, great
Yeah.
tune.
Yeah.
I'm Not in Love by 10cc,
Oh, unbelievable tune.
epic tune.
Yeah.
Epic
The mixing
tune.
board was the instrument. It's
The
amazing.
mixing, yeah, before Eno, I
Yeah.
think before Eno was born.
Gorgeous.
I Want You Back by The Corporation, Come and Get Your Love, fabulous tune.
Yeah.
Cherry Bomb by Joan Jett, how can you argue with that one? Escape, the Pina Colada song. Ooh Child by Stan Vincent 5, Stair Steps, Ain't No Mountain High Enough. So this is what I see. The the soundtrack for Hail Mary is aggressively world. It's not limited to America, whereas those two other soundtracks are almost entirely American.
Yes, of course.
It's aggressively world. It's really fragile. They're really fragile, weird tunes. They're not these very hyper-produced Nashville, Los Angeles, New York tunes with a backing band and, you know, compression ratios and so forth and so on. It's not. It's a Mary. And if you take a look at the Beatles, two of us, I mean, it's the most stripped down song in the world. There's a video of them playing it. It's really, there's nothing to it. It's just McCartney playing guitar, and I think Harrison's actually playing the bass. I don't know what Lennon's doing, and all Ringo's doing, as far as I can tell, is hitting the bass drum. He's basically a human metronome. And then you have the tango tune, which was fab. I just love that scene of the two spaceships flying around each other.
It is an homage. That's an interesting.
I thought it's an homage.
Yeah,
but it's also a little bit of a tweak. It's like, you have your grand blue Danube and you have these European, you have these very somber, you have Khachaturian's Guyenne ballet. It's, you know, it's so deep. And here I got this stupid freaking tango tune where like the violinist is pretending to be a bird. There's something incredibly lighthearted about all of Hail Mary. And it's nice. It's a light feel to it. It's not a heavy feel at all.
Yeah. I mean, they walk an interesting tightrope of presenting like an adventurous sci-fi film that also you could totally bring the family to. And I do want to mention that Sarah's in the chat and is excited that we're talking about the soundtrack of Project Hail Mary. And now we let Ben talk.
No,
I'm gonna get into the here. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah,
knock yourself out.
You had mentioned the pacing of the movie before, and I really loved it for 2.5 hours. Like it really actually went by very quickly. I had been taking notes most of the time while watching it, and right about the time they went fishing, I stopped because I was kind of engrossed from there until the end of the movie.
Oh yeah.
And
fishing?
They were capturing the predators from the
when they're loading the chain.
Yeah.
With yeah. Right out of the book. Totally out of the book. That entire
You can make
scene.
a chain? I can.
Yeah, I can make a chain that's 5 miles long out of solidified xenon.
But I was very surprised at how engaging it was. I can't remember how long The Martian is, but I think it's only like maybe 2 hours. Okay.
Well, it's fine.
Yeah, it's a pretty long film.
Okay. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And let me see if I can find. So you were talking about other movies that it reminded you of. There was
2.5 hours. The Martian is 2.5 hours.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I just looked it up.
When Grace and Rocky were talking for the first time, that really reminded me of the movie Arrival. Yes. Which had a very similar, premise to it, where like it's just these two species on the other side of glass, and they have to figure out how to communicate. And obviously, Hail Mary sped it up quite a bit, but it was a really interesting. Like I was like, oh man, I should watch Arrival again. That movie's fantastic.
Arrival is a fascinating movie because I hate it. I say to myself, I hate it, and then I watch it over and over and over again. And
do you sense a pattern? There's a pattern.
There's something extraordinarily beautiful about it. Because he's really good at sort of like that slate gray, somber, almost Nordic kind of vibe, which all of Arrival's done in. Everything's in shades of gray. Yeah. So everything's very crisp, but everything's gray, but very high resolution. She's fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
She's fabulous. And that whole thing of a child, oh my God, I can't get crying now. But the story.
Now, that's an interesting comparison, though. And I love because of the way the modes of communication, and all right. So the modes of thought. I mean, there's a lot of jokiness, right?
But the whole thing, putting your hand up against the glass,
thumbs down, thumbs down,
right? But
I wonder how many people are actually going to start doing that now. You know,
in Arrival, you're saying,
it's fascinating. I think
I'm sorry. In in
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary.
Yeah,
The
in Hail
thumbs
Mary, yeah,
down.
the thumbs down. That was very funny.
But in Arrival, I think you're absolutely right, Ben. Do you think it's maybe a quote or an homage or a tip of the hat? That the key thing is these people put their hands against the glass. These two creatures put their what is the octopods or the heptapods?
Yeah.
The heptapods,
heptapods,
and they put it against the glass, and they're so much huger than she is, and she's fearless. And that's the key thing about her, is that she has nothing to lose because her child has died. And her husband has left her. And she's completely, I thought that movie was, because I thought that movie was great. I really think that was a tremendous movie in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily an homage to it, but it would be cool if it was. Like it's a very common, movie trope, just to be like, other side of the, we're trying to connect through this plane that is impenetrable, right? Like, and I really, it just reminded me of that. And I thought I had another one down. I wrote down the movie Annihilation as well. But I can't remember why. It might just be the color scheme for some of the aliens and the alien planet that they went fishing on, and just like some of the space. I also read the book Annihilation recently too, and that was fantastic.
That was a tremendous scene. I really, you know what? It was an engineered scene. It was completely a scene, completely manipulated to manipulate you, and it did a fabulous job manipulating. When he's standing there pulling up the chain, you see this huge purple and orange planet behind him. You're like,
and he thinks it's so beautiful, and Rocky's like,
I don't see. It's a boring planet. It's just another boring planet. Yeah.
Well, you can't see colors, so
right. And I love it. It made you contemplate the way in which the entire universe is different depending on what sense organs you have and how you use them. And I think that was really great. I also love that Rocky is synquiped, right? Rocky has 5 legs.
Oh, was it 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Andy Weir talked about that. He had a thing. It was like he decided it was going to be 5 because that would be weird. That would be very alien, and then everything would be kind of 5.
What else, Ben? What other notes did you have?
Like the general design of the things that Rocky made were all very like not fractal, but like crystallized. They all had that very flat planes with hard edges. I really like that. I really liked the design of that, and then how that got interpreted into Rocky's ship, which is almost like this giant instrument with like the strings along the sides. And either they used.
What did that remind you of? What other science fiction film did that remind you of?
I don't know.
The strings.
Strings vibrating. Somebody plucking strings and vibrating the strings.
Oh no, I don't know. I'm gonna have to call a friend on this one. What?
Interstellar. Remember in Interstellar?
I haven't seen Interstellar. Watching this made me think I need to watch Interstellar because I feel like there's a lot of parallels with the visuals and like this.
I think so. I think so. Interstellar really drove me nuts. Because
that movie's like 3.5 hours long, isn't it?
That movie has a special cold place in my heart. Really, I warmed up to Arrival a lot. I think it's actually a great film, and I think it's a lot about her, and it's very interesting. The story that it's based on is fabulous. Called the Story of Your Life by a guy. He wrote a collection of short stories called The Stories of Your Life. He is totally bizarre. He's like Jorge Borges, like took like 120 tabs of acid. And spent 20 years in the desert, and then came back and said, I'm going to write a fucking book. And he writes this because it's very Borgesian. All of his stuff is very much like the short stories of Borges. They're all these really weird things, but it's a great movie. But Interstellar, there's a whole scene in Interstellar where there's these vibrating strings that extend through space time. Remember, Jim? Did you see it? The father's trying to communicate back to the daughter. Yeah. And it's like behind the bookcase and and it's like space. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Ben.
No, it's fine. It's just talking to you guys exposes me to all the things that I haven't experienced yet. So I have that book on my library list now. I'm going to pick that up. And I need to watch Interstellar, even if it takes me a couple days to get through it.
Yeah. I think it's a good science fiction film.
Oh no, I've heard that it's fantastic. I just know it's long.
It's Villeneuve. He's also the guy who did
Yes.
Arrival, right?
Oh, really?
Oh wow.
Christopher Nolan.
And he did who did what? Who did Interstellar? Was that Nolan?
Oh,
Yeah,
I think
Nolan
it
did.
might have been It
Yeah.
has a Nolan feel.
Oh,
Yeah.
2 hours 50 minutes. Yeah.
Villeneuve did Arrival and Dune.
Dune.
The new Dune.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't
The
seen
recent
the second one
Dunes.
yet. I need to see that.
I
saw the
don't
first one.
like them. I think they're
Okay.
bad. Yeah. But you can watch
you're-
them. It's fine. I mean,
I remember.
We have Jim's permission. We can watch them.
I remember reading Dune in high school. So that was about 30 years ago now. I don't remember much of it. I feel like the movies took certain liberties with all of this. I mean,
they're pretty close, strangely
really?
enough.
I
Villeneuve's
remember
are pretty close.
I remember watching the David Lynch one, and that one was wild. That was also a long time ago, but yeah.
I mean, it's a thing. It's a David
It's
Lynch
a thing. It is.
I mean,
It's a
I don't.
thing.
You know, is it the best possible version of Dune?
No.
I liked the. It was like a made-for-television series that aired in 2000.
Made by Canadians of all.
By Canadians.
You're
And
basically
I
a
thought it was
Canadian,
much
right,
better.
Ben? You live in Minnesota. It's like
yeah.
fucking Canada for all intents and purposes.
If only. We do have a city called Little Canada that I live nearby, so maybe it's like an emissary of some sort. I can live there.
Who's to the north of you? Is it Alberta?
Ontario, I believe.
Okay, good. Because Alberta's the one that wants to like join the United States or something. That's
Some people in Alberta, yeah.
Oh no, it was pretty. Yeah, I remember when
Is it really?
It's a heavy because it's like all like oil. Anyway, let's like no. Avoid.
According to Sarah, it's Ted Chiang, Stories of Your Life.
Yeah. Alberta's north of Montana.
If you want to hurt your brain, read Stories of Your Life by Ted Chiang. He is coming from a completely different direction. You're like, is this science fiction? Is this fantasy? Is this reality? What on earth is this? And they're really they're really unsettling stories. Like nothing really bad happens, but after you're like, what did I just read? Like, why did somebody like write that story? So anyway, what else about? Go ahead.
I have a pivot.
Okay,
I want to pivot because we've got 15 minutes, and I want to know. WTF is happening in Minneapolis and in Minnesota right now.
Oh yeah.
You're not in
sure.
You're not in Minneapolis, as I understand.
I am. So Minneapolis is the main like city. Minneapolis is St. Paul. And there's the kind of the main loop of highways that go around it. I'm right outside those. So I'm not technically in Minneapolis, but I am basically in Minneapolis. I'm in the suburbs. So along with writing things, I wrote tons and tons of stuff. Basically
and we gave you the short end of the episode.
No, we can keep going. Or you can come back.
All right.
I can either come back or I can zip through it. It's like, it's not a lot really. It's just basically, I went through my journals in January and early February, and I just kind of put down the Cliffs Notes of everything. But yeah, this is very much a personal account. And I'm not an expert, and I've been mostly intentionally trying to disconnect from the internet anyway over the last couple of years. Pretty much after Twitter blew up, I kind of was like, social media, I'm breaking up with you. But yeah, so I don't know. I can just kind of zip through this, and if you want to stop me,
are you a lifelong Minnesotan?
Yes, I've lived in Minnesota all my life.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. I had to double check. I've moved around a lot, but it's all been in Minnesota.
Okay.
But yeah, like really the year was pretty quiet until the 9th with the murder of Renee Good, and then things started to really spiral. I had learned about her death right before I started streaming. I do like the music community challenge every year, and that was like I was just about to start streaming to write a song in a couple hours, and I popped on the news for some reason. I found that out. So that was kind of a big, saying it's a downer is kind of an understatement, but that was really, really a big problem. And then through that, I got really heavily drawn into the news cycle, which obviously was kind of going all over the place. There was a lot of speculation, especially in the early days for this, but I think it caused, especially myself and my wife and pretty much everybody I talked to just really kind of spiral into this, because it's so local.
Mm.
And it was a real problem for us. I mean, even like with the George Floyd stuff, which I think was 21, 22.
Mhm.
Some it's like Renee was killed like blocks from where George Floyd was killed,
Oh.
and that was like kind of a big, like, not necessarily PTSD, but it reminded us of that whole thing where it's just like there's this authority that's doing things that we can't like stop. And that was a big problem. I started trying to think of ways to bring like just my personal neighborhood together. I realized that I stress bake. So I started making like sugar cookies and other stuff and trying to share those with people. Because even though like I wasn't necessarily a target for this kind of stuff, I know that a lot of my neighbors were either vulnerable or they could be targeted through this. And that was something that I wanted to let them know, that it's like I'm here for you. And I think that one of the things that I'm most proud of Minnesota is how together we have all been through like this, because like even with the protests, they've all been super well organized. They've all been like people know not to engage if they can, and to like
Mhm.
back off, help each other and all that other stuff. And I'm very proud of Minnesota stepping up for this. And even though I wasn't personally out with the protests, I was able to print whistles because I have a 3D printer.
Oh, cool.
And I know several people that were doing the protests, so I printed like 100+ whistles, and I was
What about
cool.
tell us about the whistles?
so it's a non-violent way of letting others know what is going on, like within a radius, right? So, do I have any around here? So
It's like the banging in Andor.
yeah, more or less. So it's just like these tiny little whistles that I
What does
printed.
it sound like?
Um,
Okay.
So it's loud. And I was really surprised at how well they printed. Sorry, I dropped stuff. But yeah, so like the protocol was like, if you see something or if you see like agents, you're supposed to like do short bursts. And if something those agents are taking action against somebody, then you do long sustained bursts, so
Right.
people can
Mm.
hone in on you, so they can either like try to intervene peacefully or to at least record that happening.
Mhm.
So there is evidence, because as we all kind of found out, that evidence was not exactly presented truthfully through like the DHS and all of the other agencies that were in charge of this. There was a lot of things that were said until they were refuted by actual video evidence of people that were protesting. And
Assholes.
yeah, yeah.
Assholes.
But like there were people basically following these agents around throughout. They knew their cars, and there were people
Yeah.
that just followed them around. And obviously those people that were following them got in trouble, because there can't be accountability for the actions that were being taken. But yeah, so yeah, printing whistles at least made me feel like I was doing something useful,
Mhm.
which was good. But let me see. On the 12th was our first kind of
12th of what?
interaction.
Help me here.
January, sorry,
Okay,
12th of
12th of
January.
January.
There was an ice truck that was actually going through our neighborhood that had like spotlights on every angle, so it was just blasting every house with just
Wow.
light at like, I think it was like 9 or 10 at night. And honestly, like I don't know why.
Yeah, was like
Probably
a achieve.
intimidation tactic. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's intimidation, and just trying to make people feel uneasy. But yeah, that's around that time is when I started printing whistles. But yeah, I felt like I was doing something. But there was tons and tons of anxiety for me, and for most of the other people I met. I was like heavily catastrophizing. That's what I wrote down, which I don't know why I was using big words, but that's where I was, I guess.
But you were
And
saying
around this,
that you were saying
yeah.
you're using the past tense, and at some
Yeah.
point there was an announcement made that that ICE was going to withdraw from
Yes.
Minnesota.
Yeah, that was I think around the 26th. No, wait, no, the 26th was the murder of Alex Pretty. I think this was 27th or 28th that they started talking about pulling out. And honestly, I know that they have to some degree, but for the most part, they've changed their tactics to avoid crowds in the same way.
Yeah.
I still hear stories about people getting, disappeared from the street, but most of the time now it's they went more rural, so they're going to farmlands and they're going to, out of the cities, and they're uh still kind of patrolling there. And it was interesting. There's a website called iceout.org, which I think is still going on. But yeah, so this actually has reported sightings, reported actions taken, and I followed that very closely. It, like, these days, there's definitely less reports flowing in because I feel like they've moved. I think, look, they've moved over to the East Coast now or the West Coast. But it was very interesting watching the reports during those weeks, because you could tell that they essentially just cut the metro area into slices, and they just went clockwise around the cities. It's just like they did one slice on Monday and another one on Tuesday. They just kept moving around, trying to like find new areas to haunt, for lack of a better word.
Right. Terrorize.
Terrorize.
Yeah. And I mean, there was a lot of it where there were just vans at intersections, and they were probably pulling license plates. They were probably looking for suspicious people, but it's like, that's not the way you're supposed to be doing this anyway. Like, if you have targets, if you have people that have actually been doing something wrong, you should have like some kind of dossier or some kind of information on those people, so you know where they would be, instead of just like pulling random plates. And that's actually another thing that I wrote down. I think after they announced they were leaving, maybe it was slightly before, but like there were several nights where they were flying drones over our neighborhood,
Wow.
possibly like getting license plate information. I don't really know, but again, it might just be intimidation tactics, just trying to piss people off, just trying to do something. I don't know if they were trying to incite riots, which, that's more speculating, but
No, but that's the game.
Yeah, exactly. If Minnesota was proved
back.
Yeah, if Minnesota was proved to be violent, that gives them a chance to escalate. Yeah.
Right. Taunting to escalation.
Yeah.
It's just like Iran.
Debating.
But,
you're going to debate the opposition to doing something stupid, so you can claim that you're acting in self-defense, when in fact you create the whole situation.
Yeah. One of the nice things was the weather got very, very cold. It got down to about 20 below zero.
I remember reading the stuff. Friedman, the guy who's the columnist for the New York Times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's Minnesotan. He grew up in Minnesota.
Oh.
And he said, basically, don't fuck with Minnesotans in the winter. He said, it's like launching an offensive in Russia in January. He said, you're going to lose. He said, I grew up in Minnesota, and it's like, we know how to handle winter. You don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I got a lot of joy about just the protesters just dumping water behind them as they were like, cause like a protest is basically one long retreat, right? Like all the agents or other people do is advance, and we're just backing up. So like people just had buckets of water, and they just glazed the whole street that they were on. And there's a lot of videos out there of agents slipping and falling, and I know that brought some people a lot of joy throughout all of this.
I know you must have notes around Alex Pretty, and that was because it was the second time. There was definitely the sense of like,
it started to feel like there was like a trend starting, and thankfully there wasn't. That was the only other one that we know of. I mean, there probably was a lot more, but this one was very well documented, and obviously what they, calling him a domestic terrorist because he was open carrying a gun he had a license for, is like
in Minnesota.
Yeah. And he was trying to administer care because he was a nurse, I believe, a VA nurse. So
nurse of the VA.
Yeah. So it's just, it is very frustrating. during this time, I actually joined a Minnesota Discord server just to try to like stay a little bit more connected. And during the Alex Preddy murder, it was somebody was actually working like down the street from there. So like they kind of live tweeted the whole thing on Discord, which was wild to experience. Thankfully, there was no more like violence or anything else that happened, but like the police were brought in and they kind of just split everybody up. It's very hard to tell like what side the police was actually on for all of this too. Like they were definitely trying to protect the residents, but they also had the obligation to, the federal agents too. And it's like
protect law enforcement. Yeah.
So it's
incredibly conflicted.
So
because you have the fellow law enforcement. Do you stand with your brothers? Or do you stand with your community? I would not.
Are they your brothers? Really? I mean,
yeah, they are.
They're wearing all the stuff, and they've been.
Yeah, but I
know.
But police officers
got no training.
Police officers have an unenviable job.
Yeah,
and as and they very much. There's an enormous amount of solidarity, even when they're dealing with fellow officers who they don't like. You choose them over everybody else. They're the person who's in the Fox. I mean, speaking as somebody who's never been a police officer in his entire life, but I've observed this a lot, which is that police, it's very clear. So I'm just saying it must be a horrible choice to make.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do believe, and I honestly, again, I haven't really been super connected to the news up until this. So I do believe that there has been some reform with the police over the years, especially since the George Floyd thing.
Right.
But I can't say for sure, like what their stance was specifically, because there was so much misinformation flying around. Like this was kind of the time where I stopped dealing with social media pretty much permanently. Like I still check Blue Sky once in a while, but for the most part, I'm just like not on any social media anymore. It's just that, and with all the AI slop going around, it's very hard to find what's real anymore. And like, there's no reason for me to be on there. And so I actually started reading the Star Tribune website, which is our local like Minnesota newspaper. So like that at least feels like it's vetted information to some degree. So that has been nice. And so like things did wind down. Like I have notes up until like February 13th or so, where things were starting to feel more normal, but it was still just happening with different tactics. There's no longer swarms of agents, but they're spread out, rural and farms. And the news kind of quieted down too, which is like, it's hard to tell, right? Like if the news is quieting down, is that because they have other things to talk about, or are people burnt out on reading about just, this occupation for the last month, right? Like I struggle with all of that. And like, I feel that there's a propaganda tactic called flooding the zone, I think. And that's basically what it is, right?
It's it's a distributed denial of service attack.
Yeah, exactly. There's just
human brain can only accept as many socket connections, and then you just flood that with your shit, and they can't accept socket connections for anything else. And so, sorry, go ahead.
No, and that's exactly right. Where it's just at this point, I feel like, me personally, and there have been a lot of the people that I talk to, a lot of friends are stronger than I am when it comes to this stuff. Like they still do protests, they still go out there, and they still like, and I am very, very grateful for the work that they do. And like, I hope that the whistles I made have had some small benefit to that. But I definitely just got overwhelmed, and I had to shut down around the 13th of February. And yes, the things are still happening here. And yes, they are probably, they have lessened for sure, but they still are happening. And really, they're happening everywhere. It's not just Minnesota.
Do you wonder, Ben, that this is the America that you wanted?
No, I'm very patriotic to Minnesota.
I think that's the fundamental question. Is this the America is this what we thought America was?
No. Well,
here's the question. Maybe another question off of that is this kind of what America Really
Always-
was.
Always was.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that
And-
is a very good question.
Is it just more distributed now?
Yes.
Right.
I honestly
Three white
sorry.
guys.
I know, right? I recently finished a book called Techno-Feudalism, which talks a little bit about this. It talks kind of about the history
Giannis.
of how technology and capitalism have kind of grown beyond and started evolving into this new form of capitalism where technology like Meta, Twitter, all of these other large companies are kind of becoming their own fiefdoms, and you have to exist within those to continue your like capitalist endeavors.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
like if you're not part of Amazon, how are you going to sell stuff? Like if you have physical goods or Etsy or any of that stuff. And I really enjoyed that. But one thing that it opened my eyes to is that like this kind of terrible stuff has been going on for a very long time. And it's not necessarily new, but I feel like it's escalated in a way that's kind of hard to describe, I guess. Like there's always been stuff going on. And unfortunately
Mainly against minorities.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, the police action against minorities has been going on, and you know that in Minneapolis, obviously George Floyd, that was like perfect example, right? Or
and that's not the only example from that era too. There were a couple that probably didn't get out as far, but
in Brooklyn, the guy was just trying to sell Lucy's. No, it's been Trayvon, that wasn't a police action, but like we've been waking up to this for a while. And now the new thing is white people. I mean, and I'm not trying to downplay how bad it is, but like, there is something about that is very America. Oh, wait, not us. Like, oh, that's a tragedy what happened over there, but not us.
Yeah.
We're white.
Right.
Yeah. Yup.
Sorry, did I just kill the vibe?
No. I think it's a deep. I think it's the most important question of all.
It really is.
Is what is this America?
Yeah.
And who are we who grew up in America? And all of us have lived lives.
Yeah.
We love this country.
Yeah.
And we want it to be good. We want to help everybody else. We want to light up the world, but. It's hard when you see this stuff going on. It's like 40 million people voted for this guy. That's a lot of people. What were they thinking?
He was on TV.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I obviously don't have an answer for that, but I do feel that it's just good marketing on their part. It's
the thing I keep going back to, and Jim knows this, and Jim's going
for the voting part anyway. Like not the policies.
It's technology. It's technology. Like if you look at the 1920s, radio was a necessary ingredient of fascism.
Mm-hmm.
The rise of Hitler, the rise of Mussolini. If they didn't have radio, they never would have happened. And also Churchill, and also Roosevelt. They manipulated radio very skillfully. Roosevelt had a great radio voice. Churchill had a great radio voice. It was the power of the voice, like the Ultravox song, the shape and the power of the voice. And now we have social media.
Yeah.
And it allows you to motivate and mobilize and organize millions and millions of people that you couldn't touch. The interesting thing I love about somebody said to me, radio, it's the first mass communication media that you don't have to be literate, because the printing press, books and magazines and pamphlets, well, you didn't have to be literate because they made a lot of pamphlets with like pictures of people farting on the Pope and things like that. But generally with books, you have to read. But with radio, you don't have to read. And second off the bat, the leader's speaking directly to you in your ear, in your home. The leader is speaking to everybody simultaneously in their home to you personally.
Yeah.
And that's the power of like 1984, that's the power of fascism. And now what we have is we have social media where the leader can speak to everybody simultaneously. They don't have to wait until 6 p.m. to do their address to the nation. They can do it right now.
Yeah.
And what happens is it's a virus, it's an infection, and society has to deal with it, or it doesn't. Or you have this, you have these cataclysms. Go ahead.
But it sounds like the way Minnesotans have been dealing with it is to form stronger bonds of community.
Yeah.
And some of that does involve technology, like Discord. Maybe it involves more walled gardens. I mean, pitch for my Patreon, which is you can join in order to support this podcast. And if you find an independent podcast that doesn't do advertisements, you should support that podcast. We are one of those. Patreon is a walled garden. Discord is a walled garden. And yeah, you actually get to know people in there. I've gotten to know people in a different walled community. And it does work. Yeah, it'd be better if we can all hang out in a cafe. I agree. But in this kind of environment, you actually do get to hang out with people that you wouldn't ordinarily hang out with in a cafe. So it's something.
Yeah, and there was one thing that actually I learned more about, but didn't dive into. But there is a communication protocol called Meshtastic, which is a mesh radio protocol. Where you can actually, it's basically a chat room that is distributed via nodes that are just like little radio receivers.
Yeah,
so people can
peer-to-peer, right?
Yeah,
subversive. I love it.
Yeah. So it's something that I really wanted to get into, just if nothing else, to catch whatever news or whatever people are saying, and within like the half-mile radius of my house, just like not CB radios.
Yeah, but it is kind of like local mesh.
It's kind of like CB radio, but
yeah, it is
mesh.
Yeah, Meshtastic is the
Meshtastic. Interesting. I'll check it out.
Yeah, so I kind of want to still dive into that, even though like there is less of a existential threat going on. But I think it would still be cool to be able to have a network that is not necessarily tied to any other communication grid.
That's cool.
Because it runs off of like a little Raspberry Pi. You can just have like a battery bank and have it run for hours and hours.
And just have it like just running in your room.
Yeah. So you don't even have to have like power. You don't have to have power. Yeah. Thanks, Sarah.
Sarah dropped the URL. Sarah also brought up the whole community thing, which I thought was really an important point.
Yeah, absolutely. And
kudos, Sarah. Thank you for being in the chat.
The community has been great.
Just that the Minnesotan community has risen to the challenge of this, assault, the war of terror on the state.
Well, at the risk of making a complete and utter fool of myself, the whole Wisconsin Minnesota thing, it's a heavy Lutheran vibe. It's a really deep community. I mean, it's that whole Nordic thing. They hang together. First off the bat, they live in like the worst place in the world to live in. Okay.
Part of the year. It's gorgeous the rest of the year.
90% of the fucking year.
We get like 3 good months. Come on.
Yeah, you get like a solid 3 months where everything is not like permafrost.
It's either too cold or too hot. Yeah.
But seriously, it's hard. You got to be on your game.
Oh, yeah.
If you're going to live in Minnesota and make a living in Minnesota and Wisconsin, you got to be on your game. You can't just like go la, 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 and walk out the front door with your T-shirt on and expect everything to go okay. So they're very organized, and it's very, there's a heavy Lutheran tradition and a heavy Nordic tradition. And it's solid, baby. It's a community that, you can't go it alone. It's funny. I was talking to somebody about like living in Greenland. I have a friend who went to Greenland. It's like, you can, if you walk out the door and you forget your keys and the door locks behind you, you're dead. In Greenland,
you have problems. Yeah.
You've got to have very good relations with your neighbors. You've got to form solid ties with your neighbors, and you guys depend upon each other. And I think that says a lot. I think it really does. Did you ever see that movie Northland?
Northland? No, I haven't.
Was it Northland?
Was that with Al Pacino?
No. It's about North Dakota. It's something. It's like a frontier film in North Dakota.
You know what I want to make? I want to make a movie where it's always cold.
It's called Ice Station Zebra.
It's always cold.
Station Zebra.
You never seen Ice Station Zebra?
I haven't. I recorded at Ice Station Zebra, but I did not.
Oh, it's a great hokey late 1960s like spy thriller, like bad
1968. I'll have to watch
James
that.
Bond. But what was the one? It takes place in North Dakota, and it's like, well, of course, there's the famous, but I don't think that's it's. I don't think it's. I'm verging all over the place.
That's all good.
How are you doing
Ben.
now? How are you doing now?
Yeah, that's a good question.
What? Oh, just
You,
generally, I'm
Ben
doing all
Burns.
right. I feel like I've gotten a little bit of my creative energy back. That really diminished over the last couple, months. But
Why? Because of all this turmoil?
yeah, it's just the level of anxiety and everything. Like there were agents going door to door, like not necessarily kicking in doors, but definitely going door to door. And maybe they were kicking in some doors. I don't really know. But and that didn't happen up in our area because we're a little bit further out from the metro, but just the concept of that happening and having that kind of violation of our space, it just takes a toll. It felt a lot like the pandemic in a lot of ways, where it's just like you really don't want to go outside, you really don't want to be in public spaces, you really just don't want to be out there. And then couple that with it just being really cold out, like it kind of felt like The Shining in some ways, right? Like you just don't want to, you can't do anything, you get stir crazy because you can't
want
go
your
outside.
snow cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's like you get cabin fever in some ways, and that can be really tough, especially with that layer of anxiety on it, where it's just like,
Oh yeah,
what's going to happen tomorrow? We don't know. And so yeah, I lost a lot of my creative energy throughout February, and thankfully I'm getting that back. And like I still hear reports about things happening in Minnesota. I know our economy took a really big hit just generally because so many stores, especially restaurants, especially ethnic restaurants, they closed. Like they were shut down for weeks.
and
some of
Friedman
them-
talked about how people went and gave money to the restaurants.
Yeah. And when
to help you stay open, we don't need any food, we don't want any meals. Here's money, so you can stay open.
When some reopened, they got lots of support, and that's amazing of Minnesota to do. But some couldn't, afford to reopen, and we definitely lost some businesses through that too, which is heartbreaking.
Yep.
So yeah, I do feel like, obviously we're going to recover, and we handled we as in like, the royal we for Minnesota, we handled this with a lot of grace, a lot of like, and I'm very, very proud of Minnesota. I feel like what they did was the correct way to handle it. And we're no strangers to protest, which is good. So like, we definitely understand how it works. So I'm really, really glad. Yeah.
Do you feel like your the album that you released in December, which I really am enjoying, called Friend,
Oh yeah.
was a little on the nose?
I had actually
love
had
the
that one
cover.
planned for a while. Thank you. That one, the cover is made by a friend of mine, Amy Warden.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, so that is the little Blorbo little CGI friend that she made, and our cat Toots, which isn't around here right now. But yeah, so that is the third of an album in a series that I'd like to call cuddlecore music, which is mostly just kind of like lo-fi hip hop, but has a little bit more intention to it. Yeah,
I really enjoy the second song. Is wild in terms of where you go with the melody and the time. I think I didn't get to do a really deep listening. The first song is fantastic, and second song is called, I think, I Lost My iPhone or something like that. Or
where did I leave my phone?
Where did I leave my phone? Oh, it's really good. So go to Bandcamp, find Abstraction and the little pixelated guy icon next to it. Go to Bandcamp, Abstraction, pixelated guy, and the most recent album is right up top, and it's called Friend. And look at the cover and listen to the music. It's really good.
Well, I see a Ben Burns on Bandcamp, but I don't think it's you, right? Do you do Antediluvian?
No.
Okay.
It's Abstraction.
Yeah.
Abstraction.
There, oh yeah, no, Ben just put the
oh, there it is. Yeah, I recognize Friend. Oh, pointing to the cat.
It's a good album. Yeah, you gotta. Anyway, worth checking out.
Thank
Worth
you.
listening to. Made
Yeah,
by
What else
Andy
is on your mind, Ben?
Oh, a lot. I mean, what is on my mind, or what am I working on?
What's on your mind?
What are you-
What unburden your soul to us, Benjamin?
Well, I've been actually just trying, like I've mentioned this before, but I've been trying to disconnect a lot from just the internet, just generally. I've
It's easy.
been,
You just don't look at it.
yeah.
I
mean,
I never
honestly,
got there.
honestly, it is that easy. It's just really difficult to do because it's permeated so much of our lives. And you have to have a smartphone. Like you need to have a smartphone
Me
because
too.
you can't access your banking app. You can't, like, for my job, I work in tech. I work at a bank. And like I have three or four apps on my phone for like accessing my single sign-on and accessing my
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
like I have a pager for when I'm on call.
But you don't
and all
need to
that
have
stuff.
X on there or
Oh, God, no.
Facebook.
Nope. All of that's gone. I don't
Yeah.
have any social media on my phone. I try to make
Wow.
my phone as boring as possible.
I deleted
And-
my Twitter account.
Yeah.
The only reason why I got it was so nobody else registered Lionel Cass and Twitter.com. So I deleted that. And I think I deleted my Facebook account. That's all I have. I have
Yeah.
no social media at all.
Honestly, it's great. I hope more people do it. And you know, there's so many other ways to connect with people these days that you don't necessarily need social media to do it, because going back to the techno-feudalism thing, because you're just like part of their system. And you know, if you rely on that system, then you are, he calls them vassals. You are their vassal.
Yep.
Through that, because you are essentially generating income, generating resources for them through the data that you generate. And it's I'm very happy to be rid of those systems. And I still talk on Discord, which is not, you know, the best social media platform, but at least I have control over like the channels that I visit and the people that I talk to on there. So that's something.
I'm gonna land the plane. I thought that was actually a really good place to end. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna think about getting rid of my social media. I don't know that I can really
It's
promote
very
any of my
hard.
shows if I
Yeah,
And that's
do
the
that.
thing, right? Because you're
Yeah.
generating something that you want other people to
you're a
experience.
public persona.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's easy for me to
Yeah, I'm a
swear
nobody.
it because nobody gives a shit about what I do. Well, I'm not a public persona.
It's
I'm
tempting.
not in
it
that
makes me wonder,
marketplace.
you know, what,
Yeah.
if,
Well, there
what if I
are-
did quit? You know,
There are
people
loads of
who-
artists that
people who make things that just don't. I mean, Phil Broikos pretty much isn't up there.
well, and the
all-
thing is,
yeah.
like, you can build your own website. You can self-host your own stuff. You can even have something simple like a WordPress or something that you have sovereignty over. And
WordPress,
sovereignty is the very big
and
word for me.
WordPress. Oh my god.
Well,
You have a slab site.
WordPress sucks, but yeah, I know.
No, I'm
but,
joking. I'm joking. I'm just joking. Go ahead. So I'm just
but
making
like
fun.
sovereignty is the big word for me, where it's just like managing the stuff that you put into the world in a way that you have control over it. Whereas if you're posting something on these other sites, it's very difficult to remove it. And if you post it on your own site and you don't like it, you can take it down. And there's the
Take it
Wayback
down.
Machine and that other stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, that's less of an issue compared to your data getting harvested. And I don't know. Talking about this stuff makes me feel like I should be putting on a tinfoil hat, because, like, you know, it's so easy to feel conspiratorial about this, but it's also like, this is actually what's happening. So maybe it's valid.
Why don't we have you back? Why don't we have you back?
Just
and we'll talk about
as
life
Andy Grove
offline.
said, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they aren't out to get you.
But
Well,
this
I
is
would-
like this would be a whole other episode. I think if we could talk about what would it be like if we weren't.
Yeah,
if we
I
weren't
suggest
on socials. And
reading,
because I think
No.
I think this is going to be a long episode already, and we're
Yes.
now leading down another path that
Yeah, no,
will
I'm
go
sure.
on for a long time.
I would suggest reading Techno-Feudalism then. It's like 200
Yeah.
pages. It's not a terribly long book, but it is very interesting. So
And
it's,
that's by who is it?
Oh, I
Ianopoulos?
can't remember.
Julia
He's
Childs.
Greek. Yeah, it's also very
Milos?
interesting.
It's not Milos, no. That's another
It's
guy.
also very interesting getting a history lesson from somebody that didn't grow up in America. I believe he's
Oh,
Greek.
yeah.
Giannis
So,
Varoufakis.
Giannis. Okay.
I would highly recommend reading that book. It kind of goes all over the place at times, and he meanders, but just the general
Unlike
idea
us.
of how, yeah, right. Like we're always on point. But just the general idea of it, I really enjoyed it. I mean, enjoyed it in the fact that it opened my eyes to some of the horrible things that are happening.
Yeah,
But
they
great.
are happening.
But yeah, so yeah, I would love to talk about that stuff. I've also been working on building a home lab, so like a system that I have in my basement that basically has a file server and a network accessible storage. So I've been
Cloud in the
building.
basement.
Yep,
Cloud
I've
at
been
home.
building my own Netflix and my own Spotify because I don't want to deal with any of those shenanigans anymore. So that has been a journey that I've been on for the past couple weeks as well.
Let's have you back.
Okay.
And talk about it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Ben, thank you
Who are we
so
talking to
much.
next week?
Oh, next week we will be
We're
talking
doing
about scams.
Skins. We want to come back, Ben, next week?
Sure.
You had a guest in mind though, Lionel.
Oh
We
yeah,
should-
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll get
Yeah, don't
maybe
bump somebody else for me.
After
That's
next
fine.
week.
Okay.
But yeah, next week we'll be talking about scams, the world of scams, and we will have somebody who knows something about scams, who's not a scammer.
Another book I read. I know you're wrapping up, but The Longest Con, and I can't remember the name of that.
The Longest Con.
Yeah, that's about con men and scams. So that might be something that might be worth reading. John Conison or Joe Conison, I think, or I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, that was also a very good book. It was also very depressing to read because it's a lot of bad people winning a lot.
I don't want.
Grifters,
forget it.
swindlers, and frauds hijacked American conservatism.
Yes.
Well, we're going to talk about our own experience with near misses with scams, and we're going to talk to somebody at a university who kind of deals with that sort of stuff. All right, I'm gonna end it. Thank you so much,
done.
Ben, for being here. Thank you especially for sharing your experience about how the madness in Minnesota went down.
Yeah,
and it was really fun.
Okay.
I mean, it was really fun also talking about the movie, and
yes,
I just appreciate your mind and your music, and appreciate your being here.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate being here. I thank you for having me on again.
Sure, it's good.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
Absolutely.
Roll credits.
Funny Not Funny is produced by Jim Infantino at Slab Media in Boston. Jim Infantino and Lionel Casson are the co-hosts. Our website is funnynotfunny.net. The theme music is from the song Wheel from the album Utopia Revisited by Jim. The opinions presented by the co-hosts are ridiculous and should not be taken seriously by anyone. Our intended audience is literally nobody. If you're listening to this podcast, you should probably pause to reflect on other choices you've recently made. Please do not subscribe or leave a rating or review. It only encourages us to make more. Thanks for listening.